Kamala Harris has insulted people who are Gaza protesters.
That will be most unwise and costly.
Unwise and costly. See, Kamala Harris right now, she's trying to appeal to the, how should I say this, the APAC lobby. Let's just say that. And so right now, she's trying her best to clap back at some of the protesters who have been going at Joe Biden and herself for their policies when it comes to Gaza. Now, with that being said, Kamala Harris clapping back at protesters who are mostly young people, many people who are black people in this country. Even the AME Church, the African Methodist Episcopal Church, one of the most reliable Democratic voting bases in the whole country, along with other groups, have come out against what we've been doing in Gaza and also us funding Israel to do all the crimes in Gaza, in freaking Gaza, right? See, what Kamala Harris doesn't understand is that since 2020 and since we lost so many older people, younger people are more and more making up the voting base, right? They are making more. They are making up more and more of the voting base, and it's not just young people who are against this nonsense. It's people in my age group too, because I am. I'm almost 40, and when the American populace is polled, they want a ceasefire, which is something that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden had to be dragged to, okay? So with that being said, it doesn't matter if you feel like, oh, well, I think that she doesn't need young people to win. It's not so much the young people that are going to actually sink your campaign. It's all the people those young people come from, right? So I have someone in my comments here, Reggie NX Flight. Reggie, you realize it's not just young people who are against our policy in Gaza. You do know that, right? Now, the moment you say that you don't, Reggie, you're trolling then. Supportive unions. See, I want to explain something to them, y'all. People like Reggie, right? People like Reggie. They are what you call Democratic shields. See, this is the other side of the coon argument. You have right-wing coons and you have left-wing coons. They both serve an equal part of the problem, right? See, on the one hand, you have the right-wing coons who support Donald Trump, support Republicans, support cops, support whatever a court does, criminal justice system. They will be bootlickers. The left-wing coon is the exact same thing. Except the only difference between the left-wing and the right-wing coon is that they put Black Lives Matter in their profile pictures. That's the only difference. Both will sell you up the river if given the chance. Both will sell you up the river if given a chance. Because right now I'm discussing an elected official talking smack to protesters who are American citizens. American citizens. And a Democratic shield still shows up here and tries to sully that. And then doesn't realize how that makes them look to the American populace who are calling for a ceasefire. And the other thing that I've noticed about these Democratic shields is that they will then claim, I've always supported Gaza. I've always been on the side of the Palestinians. Well, if that's the case, then when I'm discussing it, how about sit back and shut up? But see, people like Reggie don't do that. Democratic shields don't do that. They have no problem with children and women being harmed in Gaza. They have no problem with no water, no food going there. They have no issue with that. So long as you vote blue, no matter who. It matters not who cracks the whip. Blue or red or blue. They're all the same. All the same. Are you under the impression, Reggie and other Democratic shields, are you under the impression that when we went into Iraq and Afghanistan, that it wasn't also Democrats that were pushing it? How about criminal justice? How has California done with that? How about New York? How about Illinois? Why is it that so many riots and protests appear to be happening in response to what police officers do to black people in northern states, in Democrat-run states like Illinois, Minnesota, New York, even the West Coast like California? It seems like, Reggie and others, it would appear, and just call me crazy, it would appear like you are no different than the other side. You just want to be the one to crack the whip. See? That's the whole thing. It's called controlled opposition. See, if you actually cared about the country, you cared about truth, you cared about justice, well, with the first time, right? The first time that protesters came to you about a ceasefire, you wouldn't have had John Kirby, not freaking John Kirby, but you wouldn't have had Joe Biden, you wouldn't have had Kamala Harris, you wouldn't have had, John Fetterman, so many other Democrats, so many other people out there talking smack to people and literally suggesting they are funded by Iran, by Russia. I literally heard the Russian bot argument again. Literally. And it's great that Kamala Harris called for a ceasefire in March. How many people? It's great that she called for a ceasefire in March. It's great that she can wait that long. Guess how long I've been calling for it? And I'm not in office, Reggie. See, and this is where I don't, I want to engage with Democratic shields. I really, really want to. But when it gets to the point where you just start throwing baseless insults, when you just start saying anything, when you just start trolling is a way, right? Trolling is a way of tapping out. Trolling is a way of tapping out. Trolling is a way of tapping out. You're tapping out. You're tapping out. I will accept that win. Thank you for tapping out. But the thing is that when it comes to Kamala Harris, when it comes to Joe Biden, when it comes to the Democratic Party, I don't care about how long it took you to call for a ceasefire. I don't care about what your position is right now when it comes to what you're doing right now. You should have made the right choice the first time. You should have made the right choice the first time. The first time. After we spent so much money, so much resources, over in the Middle East, do you not think it was imperative to make the right decision the first time? Do you not think so? Do you not think so? Do you not think it was important for the American people to know the truth about this conflict the first time? Do you not think it was important? It was important for people to understand the nature and the history of this. Do you not think so? And Jonathan Wicks, you saying for me to get to the point, it's my stream, sir. You can get out. See, Democratic shields, I want you to understand something, right? Nobody talks smack to black people quite like Republicans, racist Republicans, and Democratic shields. Because when Democratic shields, when they can't defeat you with logical arguments, then it goes to insults. Because they can't paint me as somebody who's a freaking Republican, because who in the hell is gonna believe somebody named ACAB devil or black man in the wilderness? Do you know what ACAB stands for? Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be welcome at the next freaking DMC. Playing not like us. Malcolm X would have hated you. Miguel, you're not even from my lineage. Malcolm X spoke about the foxes. Who were the foxes, Miguel? Who were the foxes? Was it the Republicans? Who, Miguel? Come on. I mean, you got a lot to freaking say here. Exactly, Miguel. You know what the truth is. The truth is the foxes were always Democrats, always the so-called liberals. You want to know why? Because the liberals can always, right? The liberals can always hide amongst the so-called allies. Always. Why the ACAB side supporting a cop? Nobody is on the ACAB side. Most people on the ACAB side don't really care for it. Dog is either Harris or Trump. Okay, if you do the whole pick a whole side, two-party thing, you got to go to original arguments only. Argue with your points. You do insults, you do that kind of stuff. I can't have you in my chat, right? Brandino, your title mentions ACAB. Yeah. I don't know anyone shouting ACAB who's loves Kamala Harris. I've seen it a few times, but not really over here. I mean, people have been pretty hardcore about the whole Gaza thing. I know I have been. Now, even if you found somebody who was saying ACAB but also still did the whole hypocritical thing, that ain't me. Obviously. Bro, I'm confused over no, there is no confusing thing. There's no confusing thing. Miguel, the thing is though, why are you commenting about Malcolm X and you're not even from my lineage? Like, I hate it when Republicans and even Democrats do that. When they misquote Malcolm X or freaking MLK, stop doing that. He's not from your lineage. That's disrespectful. Like, good Lord. Like, how would you like it if I went over to Hispanic culture, Miguel, and just quoted your freaking heroes, quoted all your freaking icons, just out of context, to score to sit here and just I don't know, like score points? That's silly, man. That's silly, man. And that's not something that I can tolerate. See, when you actually have a productive conversation, when you actually articulate your points, which is exactly what I've been doing the whole time, there's no counter argument. See, this started off with her insulting Kamala Harris, insulting a bunch of Gaza protesters. Do you even know what she said? Do you even know what she said? Here, let me show you what she said. I want you to hear it.
Intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking.
So they're shouting in support of the people of Gaza, Palestinians, people who are being oppressed right now, who are being slaughtered right now. And she replies, if you want Donald Trump to win, then keep going. You allow Bibi Netanyahu to come over to this country. Insult the same protesters. Bibi Netanyahu, who sat there and gave a Krispy Kreme donut style glaze to Donald Trump. And now you're insulting the same people. But you want to say we're better than the other side. Wow.
That will be most unwise and costly.
That is not a good look. That is not a good look.
It's problematic at best.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want y'all to hear that again.
He intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking.
So people are sitting there shouting, right? People are sitting there shouting, hey, I want there to be a ceasefire. I care about human beings. I care about human life. And the first thing you respond to these people who have already been called agitators, they've been insulted. There was a claim that Netanyahu made, right, that these people were funded by Iran. And y'all let that happen on American soil. On American soil. And now the exact same people, you're going to sit there and you're going to insult them right to their faces. Right to their faces. You're going to insult them.
That will be most unwise and costly.
Unwise and costly. That would be most unwise and costly. But once again, when people say that Kamala Harris doesn't belong to certain lineages, when Kamala Harris has a disconnection from Black America, excuse me. If you don't understand what I mean by that, I want you to understand. I want you to see something real quick. First of all, I'm going to look up something first. I want you to see who the AME Church is. So the AME Church. So the African Methodist Episcopal Church. I'm going to just look up the AME Church here. The AME Church grew out of the Free African Society, FAS, which Richard Allen, Absalom Jones, and others established in Philadelphia in 1787. 1787, when officials at St. George's MEC pulled Black people off their knees while praying, FAS members discovered just how far American Methodists would actually go to enforce racial discrimination against African Americans. Hence, these members of St. George's made plans to transform their mutual aid society into an African congregation. Although most wanted to affiliate with the Protestant Episcopal Church, Allen led a small group who resolved to remain Methodist. So basically, that was the founding of America's oldest Black church. Oldest Black church. Now, I want you to see that, right? I want you to see that and see the statement. AME church leaders call for halt to all U.S. funding of Israel. That happened in February earlier this year. The AME church said that. Black people, the oldest church in fucking America, said that. The oldest church in America said that. The oldest Black one. They said that. And Kamala Harris still says something like that. Kamala Harris says this, right? Knowing that the AME church called for a ceasefire. Not only called for a ceasefire, called for a halt to all funding to Israel because of what Israel was doing. This is a church saying this. A church saying this. A church saying this. See, the thing about it is, right? The thing about it is, people have to understand that it's not about left or right, Democrat, Republican. None of that matters. None of that matters. What matters is, what can you justify morally? What can you go to sleep with? Can you sleep knowing that our weapons, right? Our weapons are being used to harm other people, and you are paying for it. And yet they will take your money and go do that, and yet they will keep inflation this freaking high. It will keep housing costs this freaking high. They won't fix potholes. They won't fix bridges. They won't build schools. They won't build community centers. They won't help a single mother find some milk or formula. They won't help Americans. But they will take your money and go and harm other people with it. And even worse than that, pay other people, send money and weapons to other countries that they know are committing human rights offenses right now. They will do that with your money and yet tell you to vote blue no matter who. They will say that to you. They will say that to you. If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that. Kamala Harris is insulting the exact same people that Benjamin Netanyahu came on American soil and insulted right to our faces. This man, there's stories about this man, right? There's stories about this man bringing dirty, big luggage bags of dirty luggage. Because he understands that once he's on American soil, he gets a special treatment of having his freaking laundry done. So he brought dirty laundry, freaking luggage bags on luggage bags of laundry. Luggage bags of laundry. This man brought. Right? That's what he thinks of you. He thinks so little of you. He thinks so little of you that he can come on American soil and insult you right to your faces. Because he understands that when it all boils down to it, Daddy America will always have their back. Because we got a bunch of right-wing weirdos who usually don't like anyone from that country or certain groups. But then suddenly when it comes to Israel, they want all the funding in the world. Or you get the boomer crowd who just can't let go of Israel. Can't let go of Israel. Can't let go of Israel. It's amazing. It's amazing. And you know what's the best part about this is that she said this. She didn't say this in South Carolina or Florida or California. She said this in Michigan. Do you not know where Dearborn is? Dearborn, which is let's just say they have quite a bit of a Muslim population. She said this in Michigan. In Michigan. In Michigan. I want you to hear that again. I want you to hear that one more time. Gaza protesters, American citizens, tax-paying citizens, showed up to a rally, and they have every right to shout whatever they freaking want to. You may not want them there, but she's running for president. So if she wants to be their president, she has to hear them, right? So let's play that one more time. I want y'all to hear that in 4K.
Intends to surrender our fight against the climate crisis, and he intends to end the Affordable Care Act. You know what? If you want Donald Trump to win, then say that, otherwise I'm speaking.
Wow. I want you to see all these people in the back, right? Right? I want you to see all these people in the freaking back. If you have a conflict in which people are actively losing their lives, there is a lack of running water, a lack of food, a lack of medical care. Women can't even get hygiene products. Can't even get hygiene products. Can't even get hygiene products. And you're going to say that? Kenyon Barbie, I want you to hop up. Because if you don't, I'm going to bang you from my chat. Kenyon Barbie. And by the way, you're Kenyan, so I love my black brothers and sisters, but this is American business. So if you're in Kenya, stay in Kenya. But if you're in America, then we can have a conversation. I'm just saying, if you want to have a conversation, cool. But you're not gonna just troll in my chat, because I'm pretty sure that you're used to doing that. How do I hop up? You know how to hop up. Stop it. You know how to hop up. You know how to hop up. Come on now. Let's stop this. How much are they paying you? This is the other thing that they love doing, right? I want to change the aspect real quick. This is the other thing that they love doing. So whenever they can't defeat you with a actual logical argument, then the argument becomes, well, how much are they paying you? Let me point something out to you. Currently, and I want you to see this, because I'm going to make everybody who came at me right now look like a PDF file. So you want to know the reason why I don't give Democrats any play on my channel? I want you to see something real quick. So, and if you try to go against this, I'm going to call you a predator. So, this guy is the 2021 Sheriff of the Year. 2021 Sheriff of the Year. Now, Sheriff Leon Lott is a registered Democrat. And that is a known thing. So my whole beef with the Democrats is this. Now, when it comes to Democrats, they always project themselves as a people who try to fix police, try to make police officers better. They try to improve police officers. This man is a registered Democrat. I want you to see that real quick. Now, I'm also gonna make some other people look really, really bad. So let me set this up real quick to make you all look terrible. So this sheriff is the reason why I don't like Democrats, because he's a registered Democrat. So when one of his deputies slammed a black girl at Spring Valley High School from where I came from, he said that it was okay for this white deputy to do it because the white deputy has a black girlfriend. So a bunch of black women had to write a big letter to tell him, no, that's not okay. Now, with that being said, that's not the only problem with Sheriff Lott. It's this problem. See, once you understand who I am, then you understand there is very little chance you can go against me and win, because I'm the reason why this story is even a story. Sheriff of the Year protected Richland County cop who preyed on kids for years, court documents say. Why do I know this is true, and what do I have to do with this? Well, Sheriff Lott, for his entire career, has been covering up whenever children were being preyed on, whenever it would place whenever his sheriff's department would be placed in liability, or the county of Richland. So when I was a child, my older brother, whose name is Carlos Grant, who's now a high school principal in South Carolina, he's 10 years older than me, he harmed me. Gotti, thank you, Gotti. I went to Spring Valley High School. Leon Lott was the worst, thank you. He harmed me, he SA'd me several times. I was a small child, I had no chance. I told the sheriff's department and they did nothing. They told me that these sorts of things don't happen to boys. So I tried to tell them and nothing happened. So I tried to report it. I became an adult and I tried to become a hero. You know, I tried to go to the military. I worked corrections. I tried to do the heroic stuff, you know, try to be the kind of person that would have helped me. So when I became a freaking adult, I found out that Sheriff Lott has been covering up other essays of other children that happened at Spring Valley High School. Oh, by the way, all the victims were black girls, King and Barbie. All of them. Black girls. Black girls. Where the hell were you, King and Barbie? For several years, Richland County Sheriff Leon Lott ignored a slew of separate complaints accusing school resource officer Jamil Bradley of child predator behavior, according to court documents filed just days before Lott was named Sheriff of the Year by the National Sheriff's Association. One of the victims' parents was a Richland School District 2 employee, a school employee. And there's also a recording that I want you to hear. I want you to hear this because this is what gonna make is gonna make King and Barbie and everybody else look terrible. This is an interview that I did with a mother whose daughter was essayed by multiple women, by multiple men, all at once. That woman's name was Stephanie Bryant. Court agreed that Stephanie said that Leon Lott, you went to Leon Lott.
Numerous times did I contact him.
And you went to him numerous times. And based on the Supreme Court findings, the Supreme Court agreed that Stephanie was raped.
The Supreme Court not only agreed she was raped, they agreed that she was not fully competent, that she was incompetent.
So you gave this information to Leon Lott personally, or at least he knew of it.
Oh yes, yes.
So he knew of it.
In fact,
you know, and do you see what King and Barbie's doing? Therapy helps. After you just hear that and you hear the reason why I don't like Democrats, that's how you respond. Ma'am, don't have children. That's terrible. That's disgusting. And if you think that's going to change people's minds to vote Democrat, you've just caused, that's terrible. That's terrible. Do you understand? That's disgusting. Do you understand how terrible that makes you look after you just hear that? Hold on. Let's go back to the article. Hold on. I want you to see this. I want you to read the depositions. So 2010, 2011 allegations, right? Let's go through the freaking depositions. In 2010, Bradley was verbally counseled for giving female students rides in his patrol car. This was the first of many complaints launched against Bradley after his alleged predatory behavior towards female students. In 2011, an administrator reported that he made an inappropriate comment about a female student's dress. These allegations came to light during a 2011 internal affairs investigation that was launched after a teacher at Richland Northeast High School reported to the Sheriff's Department officials and Richland 2 administrators that Deputy Jamil Bradley, a SRO officer at that time, was having an inappropriate relationship with the student. Now, he was told at that time to not be around any other students, right? He was told at time to not be around any other students. I want to remind you once again what party Leon Lott represents. Democratic Party. This is why you can find pictures, right? You can find pictures of this man and Jim Clyburn. That's why. That's why. Exactly why. But let's keep going. 2015 allegations. One night in December 2015, Richland County deputies doing undercover drug work saw Bradley meeting up with a high school student identified as Jane Doe 2 by her license plate number in the Target parking lot on Two Notch Road in Columbia, South Carolina. Two Notch Road. So the Target is right across from Spring Valley High School. Do you know how I know that? I used to live in Northeast Columbia. I live no more than 4 minutes away from that exact same high school. That's how I know so much about this whole thing. I could have told you the whole story off the top of my head, but all this stuff that I'm showing you on the freaking screen, right? That's for your convenience, not mine. This is my whole life story. I hope you get that. So, one of the deputies immediately reported the incident to Captain John Ewing of Richland County Sheriff's Department. Now, one of the deputies was undercover. His own undercover officers came to him and told him that, and he still did nothing. The sheriff did nothing. According to a sheriff's office report, Ewing concluded that, quote, based on the sensitivity of this issue and the fact that very little people need to know about this, end quote, he reported the incident directly to Lott in 2015. Here's a screenshot of it. Hold on, I want to make this bigger. I want to embarrass, because again, people know that I'm harsh on Republicans, but I want Democrats to not feel comfortable here either, because y'all got problems too. Y'all weird too. Let's be honest. There you go, right there. I mean, can you argue when you see it right there on the freaking face? Huh? Oh, quote, the fact that an officer is going behind a building at dark with a female, if that got out around the Richland County Sheriff's Department, everyone would be talking about it, end quote, Ewing said in a deposition. So he didn't want anything to happen because everybody would be talking about it. Oh, so instead of going to SLED or the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division or bringing it up, to a higher chain, he did his own investigation. He closed it. Did nothing about it. Oh, let's keep going. Let's wear out these Democrats tonight, because I usually wear out Donald Trump. I want to wear out some Democrats tonight. What Sheriff Lott knew? What did he know? What did he know? Well, he knew that Deputy Bradley was sending emails to students during holidays. While he's off duty. So you're meeting up with them behind Target parking lots. You're making inappropriate comments about their dresses. You're texting them. You have an inappropriate relationship. They moved him from Richland Northeast to Spring Valley High School. So this is another one of those cases where you see why what happened to, God, what is her name now? Oh, I don't want to forget that sister. It's on top of my head. I've been going at it for so long. Sonya Massey. If you remember Sonya Massey, so these officers with these backgrounds of being bad people over and over and over again, you're wondering how this is happening. You are seeing yet another case of it right in front of your face. Because this guy, they knew he was a freaking child predator, and they moved him from one high school to another. From one high school to another. In fact, when Sheriff Lott was asked, do you think it was inappropriate, right? Do you think it was inappropriate that a school resource officer is meeting up with female high school students behind a Target parking lot? Do you think that's inappropriate? Do you know what Sheriff Lott responded with? And I want to make this bigger so I can just wear out these Democrats some more, because I don't want y'all ever come back to my chat talking any more smack without looking like child predators yourself. Asked if it was suspicious to him that Bradley was accused of inappropriate behavior with students 4 separate times in 8 years, Lott said no. He didn't think that it was inappropriate. Oh, let's read a little bit deeper. He also said here, when Lott was asked about Bradley getting caught meeting up in a dark parking lot with a teenager at night, Lott said he didn't think it was the smartest thing to do, but wouldn't call it totally inappropriate. What? Wait, what? Yeah, So this man's been doing this his entire career. And the sheriff's deputy in question right here, Jamil Bradley, that the one that he covered for, he's in prison. So those girls were right. And do you know Sheriff Lott, he originally told the girls they were lying. Did you know that? You know that Sheriff Lott called them liars. He called them liars. In fact, I want you to see the effects of Democrats allowing their sheriff's deputies and their sheriffs to behave with impunity, right? Bradley's supervisor was aware of these allegations and chalked them up to just a rumor. In April 2018, Jane Doe again tried to tell Spring Valley administrators that she was being essayed by Bradley. And the situation got so bad that this young lady had to be hospitalized for 90 days. And she wanted to take her she wanted to take herself out because she got pregnant by the sheriff's deputy here. So let's return back to Ms. Harris. I don't want to hear a single Kamala Harris supporter or Democrat ever lecture me about criticizing Democrats. You can shut the fuck up. I'm the one fighting that battle, not you. Because even after I showed you all that, right, you're not going to concede, you're not going to give a damn, you're going to somehow make me the problem. And that's disgusting because those were little black girls, they deserve justice. Maybe you don't care, but I do. It happened in my backyard. And it happened to me as a child. So don't tell a survivor to shut up. You shut up. Survivors like myself, we have been told to shut up our entire lives. I got my power back and you won't tell me to shut up again. With that being said, the same criticism applies to Kamala Harris and the entire Democratic Party. Don't tell me about how you want to change cops, about how you care about justice, and yet for some reason you can't seem to stop bombing innocent people. You can't seem to stop providing weapons. You can't seem to stop, your freaking sheriffs, your 2021 sheriffs of the year from protecting child predators. Don't you sit there and pretend like you have the moral high ground, because neither side does. You're both trash. Garbaggio. Trash. Absolutely. Because my thing is that even after I show you all that, it won't be the criticism of the people involved. You'll criticize me, and that's why I don't respect you. I refuse to. I'm not going to. I never will. Because unlike some of you, I have morals. I think it's wrong when you cover up horrible things that happen to children. I think it's wrong when you provide weapons to people who are bombing women and children. I think it's disgusting. I will always be against it, unlike Kamala Harris. How can you morally tell me that I am wrong? You can't. You can't. And that's why you can't stand me, because unlike you, I will not bend on my principles. I won't bend. You, James Moore, when I say you, I mean people. I mean people who will justify disgusting things based on politics. And oh, by the way, Black Mark Twain, I got plenty of sleep. I'm a farmer. I'm up day and night. But with that being said, I have this thing whereas when I point something out, I want people to understand that I stand on principle. I don't care about what you believe. I don't care about what your politics are. I stand on principle. Do you not get that? Maybe you have no boundaries. Maybe you have no principles. But I do. Because I believe in speaking truth to power. See, At one point, I was one of those go along to get along people. But once I realized, hey, I can't look at the mirror and respect myself. I can't sleep at night. Right? I decided to be somebody different. And maybe that bothers some people. That's fine. You can live your life. I'm going to live mine the way that I choose. And I choose to speak truth to power and speak with morals. Maybe some of you can try that sometime. Maybe some of you can try that sometimes. Maybe the next time there's a child or a woman who is being denied water in Gaza. Right? Maybe then you will find more outrage with that than someone who's talking about it over the internet keyboard warrior. Maybe you will find more righteous indignation when water is being denied to children, when maternity supplies is being denied to mothers giving birth. Maybe you'll have more righteous indignation than some random guy on the internet complaining about the person who wants to be the president of my country. Maybe you'll find your morals then. But until then, don't you lecture the person who had morals for far longer than you did. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Now, so with that being said, you had no problem with me criticizing Trump, with me criticizing Republicans, with me going at Republicans, because I've been going at Republicans for a long time because of their support of cops. I am full ACAB. Period. But I'm going to have to smoke for you too. Because if you're claiming that you have the moral high ground and yet when I look around it doesn't look like you do, I'm going to talk about you. I don't care how many shields you send. I don't care how much you cry about it. I don't care how much you boo-hoo about it. I'm going to do what I do. Now, I want people to understand this woman said this in Michigan. Do you understand how many Arab Americans and how many Muslims you have in Michigan? Okay, you just lost that population. Congratulations. You just lost that population. Once again, I want to remind you once again, this woman and her homie allowed Benjamin Netanyahu to show up in this country and insult the same protesters. And now she's doing the exact same thing. Ew. Just ew.
Your tax dollars at work.
Your tax dollars at work.
That is one big pile of shit.
Yep. I agree.
It's problematic at best.
You know, Trump's definitely not any better. But here's the thing. I want to say this to all the people out there who are the Democratic shields and Republican shields, Democrats, Republicans. I want you both to listen. You just saying, but the other side, you know, quote, but the other side, end quote. That doesn't discount anything that I say about you. Right? You do get that, right? Like if I say that I think dogs smell bad, right? That doesn't mean that you can come back and say, well, but cats smell worse. You're not refuting what I said previously. By the way, I love dogs and cats. But that is just a simple analogy, something that even a child can understand. So I know that adults can understand this. They can grasp this concept. If I criticize Republicans, that doesn't mean I love Democrats. If I criticize Democrats, that doesn't mean I love Republicans. It just means I'm criticizing you. Or whatever you hold dear. That's it. It doesn't mean I love the other side. It just means I'm criticizing something that you may hold near and dear. And it's not even personal towards you personally. So why make it personal? Are you Kamala Harris? Are you Joe Biden? Are you Donald Trump? Are you J.D. Vance? Are you any of these people? No. So I want you to understand. I'm criticizing these people for their demonstrably horrible behavior, their demonstrably criminal behavior. Because to be honest with you, Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, George Bush, Cheney, all of them are freaking war criminals, in my opinion. Let's just be honest. All of them are. They would rather give money to other countries to go bomb people and to help you. And they will do this, right? Right? They will do this while also striking people who you aren't even sure are even guilty. But you will say that they are guilty without any kind of evidence. You will believe that because the U.S. government has manufactured consent. They've told you this. Oh, this guy was an evil terrorist. Well, we had to go ahead and do it. We had to go ahead and do this freaking strike. How do you know that they're even guilty? How do you know that? I mean, once you do a drone strike, no one can defend themselves in front of a jury of their freaking peers. So that is what I'm saying. We have accepted mediocrity in the form of accepting evil no matter what. This is the price that we pay for, well, vote for the lesser of two evils. Well, once you do that enough, it gets to the point where you're just voting for evil. Whereas there's no lesser of two evils, just different flavors of it. What evil do you want? How about I just don't want evil? How about that? How about I don't care if it's Democrat, Republican, Independent, Green Party, Libertarian, transhumanist. I don't care. Just don't be evil. Just don't be evil. Can we do that? Can we reach that point? Why is it that we can never reach that point? Isn't it amazing that the person here who's advocating for more funding of the U.S. citizen, for less wars, for less conflict, for us to not fund atrocities across our borders, isn't it amazing how people have made me into the bad guy? I want you to sit back and think to yourself, how is it that we've reached a point where I'm saying we shouldn't provide bombs to a country that has been consistently, at least it appears, targeting women and children, and yet somehow that is the evil position? See, it gets to the point where it's when you have no self-awareness, that lack of self-awareness, that you're supporting evil. That's when you're truly lost. That's when you've lost. And someone asked the question. I want to answer this question here. I hate most of y'all. What the heck was interrupting the speech even supposed to do? It was supposed to get attention. It was supposed to get the attention. That was the point of it. This person wants to run for president. I mean, people have showed up to Trump rallies doing the exact same thing. They've been doing it. It's been known. But the reason why they don't show up as often to Trump rallies as they do with Kamala Harris or when they were showing up with Joe Biden is because Donald Trump is not currently in office. He's not the one currently sending the weapons over to Israel. That would be Biden and Kamala Harris. That's why they showed up there, to get her attention. Because the way our First Amendment works is you are allowed to, petition your your government using your speech. That is quite literally almost, I wouldn't say word for word, but almost paraphrased. That's kind of what it says. You're allowed to do that. And they're shouting that at her because they want her to change policy. They want her, if she becomes president, to make different choices than her predecessor. If you say that she's going to be better than Trump on the issue, then here is their opportunity to make sure of it. This is why you do this, to get attention. Someone who supports black people, whoever got black people, will understand why the Black Panther Party did very, very similar things. Right? Why other black activists would do certain things to get your attention, the Million Man March. Right? Stuff like that. ACAB, so goofy. Well, I don't understand why you're here then. Like, if you don't like me, why would you listen to me talk? That's just kind of a weird thing. But anyways, what you got to understand is that when it comes to Kamala Harris, she has to understand that the people will not accept anything less than a ceasefire. And she's trying her best to move things in this. And we've got a lot of Trump supporters in here, but we also got a lot of Democratic shields too, and I have no problem with that. Just either one of you, I don't care if you say vote for who, but you come at me, you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it. And if you want to get belligerent, then that's when I will deal with you. Christy Rare Jim says, but she spoke with uncommitted privately before the rally and set up a meeting with her staff. Well, she spoke up with uncommitted. She met with over 100,000 people. No. Hating on Willpower says hating on Kamala is unproductive. So I'm hating on Kamala Harris by pointing out facts. What if I said that was untrue? Will, I need you to give me a direct answer. And also Christy as well. I need you to give me a direct answer. What did I lie about? What did I say that was untrue? I need you to articulate that. And yes, this will determine whether or not you stay in my chat. Let's talk about Trump and JD Vance. Do you guys see what he just did there, Will, on Powers? I asked him a direct question. What did I lie about? And he says, well, let's talk about Trump and Vance. No, what did I lie about just now? Correct me. Because I didn't say Trump and JD Vance is better. I simply am criticizing Kamala Harris for what she said to these people out here who are protesting on behalf of people in Gaza. All right, Will. Well, Will, I got to get you out my chat. Because the one thing that I won't have is a bunch of trolling. I ask you a question, and you got to answer questions. I don't like Donald Trump. I for certain don't like JD Vance. He's a weirdo. However, that does not take away from what I'm saying here. How is it productive for Kamala Harris to be rude and be mean towards people who are chanting on behalf of people in Gaza? How is that right? I need a direct answer to that question. I need a direct answer to that question. I don't care if you advocate for your side in my chat. You can say vote for, Trump or for Kamala. I don't care. It's when you pose questions towards me or you approach me that I'm going to answer you and actually address you. Now, Emmanuel De Jesus, you asked me about Tim Walz. I don't think he's a failure. I think he was a good choice, personally. I have my own criticisms because of him in Israel, personally. But when it comes to Kamala Harris choosing Tim Walz was a better choice than J.D. Vance. But, in terms of his military record, people said that he engaged in some stolen valor. That wasn't true. So, I mean, as far as I know, he's very popular. He's a gun owner. But he is also anti-Second Amendment. But I don't particularly care about Tim Walz, because Tim Walz isn't going to be the zinger that you think he is. He's in the news right now because she just picked him. But in terms of as we get closer towards November, it's going to matter less and less and less. It's going to come down to Kamala Harris and Trump. That's where it always comes down to. So with that being said, and we got more trolls in here, and my thing is, right, as you can see, when you're anti-police, right, when you're pro-freedom, and you care about people, and you actually go against Zionism, both sides have a freaking problem with you. Both sides have a freaking problem with you. That's the problem here. Both sides don't like you. And it's not because you are saying anything wrong. Right? And it's not that you're saying anything wrong. It's that these people are so cracked out for their political side that they want you to become a part of the cult. And when you refuse to be a part of a cult, there's always a price to pay. Right? And Slim 84, there is no, I don't see stolen valor. That's not true. Not true. Simply put. I've seen no evidence of that. I've seen people on Fox claim that. But when I fact checked it myself, I looked around. People that serve with him, they've spoken out to. And people are speaking about Tim Walz destroying Minnesota. Minnesota's still there. I mean, it's not destroyed. I mean, and even when all the people who say, oh, well, they defunded the police in Minneapolis, they did not. First off, and even after they defunded the police, there was no rise in crime. So see, MAGA, this is where I'm going to get on you. I made a claim. Am I right or am I wrong, MAGA? That goes for Emmanuel De Jesus. That goes for Slim 84. Am I right or am I wrong? Did Minneapolis defund them? Did Minneapolis defund the police? And when they so-called defund the police, right? Did crime spike? Okay. All right. So I'm wrong. So I want you to see this, right? I want you to see this. So this is from Tech Dirt right here. So crime in Minneapolis continues to drop despite the PD losing hundreds of officers. This is last year. Last year. Right? Last year. Why is it always a 13%? Freaking acting up. Well, I must say, Eric, we only do that, right? We only do that to upset you personally. All of us in the country, Eric, all of us collectively do it to just upset you. Yes. Just you, Eric. Just you. Now, Eric, I want to let you know. Here's something else that the the dominant society isn't going to want to hear. All right. So, simply put, there was no rise in crime in Minneapolis. Right? You could say that Tim Walz is not loved in rural Minneapolis, but I mean, given his position and positions that he's been in, I mean, I would say that he was pretty well liked. Crime did not rise overall. There's no facts of that. All right. Crime didn't rise. So, new FBI stats show historic declines in violent crime rate, while unalivings are showing the sharpest drop. This is reported, right? June 11th of this year. I mean, there was no, and here's another city, right? They were saying, right? People don't seem to realize that when it comes to the violent crime rate, the only reason why it went up is because of the pandemic. Literally the only reason why. But once it dropped, you do a 5-year average. Yeah, it would seem higher than the other previous 5 years, right? But it simply wasn't. And someone here says, I live in Minneapolis. The crime was rampant at that time. Walls filled, Minnesota. I want you to notice the important part that they just said there. They said crime was rampant that time. That time. I want you to listen to the claim that I made, Emmanuel De Jesus, Wolf, and so many others. I said the crime rate didn't rise. You said I was wrong. This person, Wolf, said at that time the crime rate was high. He didn't say it continued to be that high. The FBI crime stats say it didn't rise. It's dropping. So, just like Democrats, I'm going to give you one more chance, Emmanuel De Jesus and others. Am I right or am I wrong? I don't do trolling in my chats. I don't do trolling in my chats. All right, Emmanuel, I've tolerated you as long as I could, but no, I don't do trolling in my chats. Once I show you the facts, you don't get to just saying stuff. I'm not defending Tim Walz. I don't care about Tim Walz. Right? People and businesses don't go downtown Minneapolis anymore. Wolf, you're saying there's no businesses, right? No businesses. No people go down to Minneapolis. All right, Wolf, I want you to type out in the chat what you want me to type in this Google search to find that evidence. You have 10 seconds. Once you type it, you get another 10 seconds. But 10 seconds is almost up. All right, Wolf. Well, you have a good night. I live it. Well, if you live it and you know it's true, then you should be able to provide me with some evidence, then, Wolf. You see, I don't treat Trump supporters or right wingers any different, right? Right? I don't treat them any different. Any different. I got somebody shouting, "Yay, cops! Go cops!" You're fine to say that. I don't care. Will says, "No disrespect, but Googling is not the same as living there." Will. He said there were no people or businesses in Minneapolis. On his face, that sounds like nonsense. So I'm going to ask you now, Will, present me with some evidence of that. That no people or businesses go downtown. And Eric, 88. Eric, I just, the low IQ individuals, they always show up here. Right? So, Will, I'm asking you, you get the same 10 seconds. I'm waiting, Will. Come on. Let's go. Chop, chop. Well, Will, if you're not saying that none go downtown, I'm saying it might not be as much people. But Will, he made the claim, right? He claimed that nobody goes downtown. So was he right or was he wrong, Will? I'm asking you 5 seconds. Woody, I deliver generators to new businesses there all the time. Thank you, Woody. Woody's saying that he delivers new generators there all the time. Slim 84, the FBI stats have been proven wrong over and over. All the stats are not turned over. Okay. Slim 84, I want you to tell me in this chat right here, in this chat right now to actually show me that crime has actually risen in Minneapolis for the past 5 years. Because if you're just talking about 1 or 2 years, I'm not taking that. 5-year average. Because we're not going to include the freaking pandemic because that's a freaking anomaly. Crime was up all over the freaking world. Okay, Slim 84. Well, since you don't want to answer direct questions, then you got to leave my chat then. I've tried to be as graceful with you as possible, but I don't do trolling in my chat. See, when you come, I don't mind you having your opinion, but when you come at me personally, then you have to answer questions. Or you got to go. Simply put, simple as that. I'm not being biased with that. I'm not being one-sided with that. I am being very fair with that. Because I've given the same thing Democrats and also Republicans. So, with that being said, we're going to come back to Kamala Harris. This is a bad look, man. You know, I mean, when it comes to the whole thing with Gaza, everyone knows how I feel about it. Everyone knows. So when you say crap like this,
that will be most unwise and costly.
Unwise and costly. Unwise and costly. You know? Let's see here. Let's see here. I just want to understand, why is it that whenever I point this kind of stuff out, or whenever I try to explain to people that supporting evil is never going to profit you anything, why does it seem like there's almost a disconnect? Why does it appear to be that way? It's just disgusting at this point, because when you look at what's happening in Gaza and you look at the indifference Kamala Harris appears to have here, it's not only disgusting, but it's unbecoming of a president. And I would say the exact same thing about Donald Trump. In fact, I'm going to say the exact same thing about Donald Trump. Donald Trump should never become president again. But with words like this, neither should Kamala. Because you're not going to just keep asking me to vote for the lesser of two evils. So tell you what. You want to go by that logic? Same way you're telling me to just vote blue no matter who, or just vote for Trump, or just vote for Kamala. Same way you're telling me to do that. Just do what I say. Ignore what I'm saying, then go away. No, seriously, if you do that long enough, I'll listen. I probably won't. But the same way that you're demanding that I do something, I'm gonna demand that you do something. See, this is why whenever I get Democratic shills who come at me in my chat, or Republican shills who come at me in my chat, right? And they come pose me questions or with insults, I'm gonna ask them direct questions. Same way that they say, just shut up and vote. Just shut up and vote Kamala. Just shut up and vote Trump. Just shut up and vote. Okay, you're making demands of me. I'm gonna make a demand of you. Answer this question. Whatever question that I'm gonna ask. The moment you don't, I'm blocking you. You don't make demands of me. I don't care what side that you're on, because both sides have lost the moral high ground. See, for the longest time, black folks have been scared to vote for a certain side. And now many of us are realizing that when we just vote for that one side, we dilute our power. Sometimes you just hold your vote, or you vote for somebody else, whoever that somebody else might be. Not saying Trump, Personally, I would have loved, and you're gonna laugh when you hear this. I like Jill Stein. I did. I know I like Jill Stein. I love Bernie Sanders. I didn't like his position on freaking gun control, and neither did I like it with freaking Jill Stein. But I could overlook that for consolation prizes. But when you come at me like I gotta vote for a certain side, like why won't you vote for this side or that side, or you're stupid, or they must be paying you. You're not changing my mind. I'm telling you that right now. You're not changing my mind. Address the arguments. That changes my mind. But see, even after saying that, right, you won't take a different approach. You're going to go with the whole condescending asshole approach. And so in response, I'm going to also be a condescending asshole. Because this is my platform. That's how it works. And many Americans are becoming the exact same way. See, many poor white Americans are getting tired of people shoving, well, you should always vote for the freaking Republicans. People tired of that. A lot of black folks are getting tired of being told, hey, I'm tired, you should go vote Democrat. I'm tired of being chose that. Why? What the hell have you done to earn my vote? Don't tell me what the other side has done. Don't give me something about this program, that program. What have you specifically done for black people? People who look just like me. The moment I ask that, do not mention a minority program, because that is not specific to black people. See, questions like that, right? Demands like that, wants like that from both sides. I've noticed that whenever I ask that question, right, the automatic response is, well, the other side, they ain't doing it. Well, then guess what? Then both of y'all can go to hell then. Do you see how that works? Don't sit here and make demands of me when I point out legitimate problems to you. Earlier, I showed the fact that this sheriff has been covering up, horrible things that's happened to children. Same thing happened to me. Damn survivor, and you still had a Democratic shield in this freaking chat insulting me. Not the sheriff. Insulting me. Even though the victims were all little black girls. There was one white girl who was essayed by multiple men. I played a recording of that victim's mother. Now, like I said, I don't mind certain criticisms, but when it gets racial, you gotta leave my chat. You gotta leave my chat. The thing is that people have got to get past this whole thing of well, you gotta choose my side because the other side's worse. How about you just don't be bad? Why do you think it's so hard for Democrats to get the moral high ground? You supported Iraq and freaking Afghanistan too, and you punish people who try to tell the American people the truth about it. You call them unpatriotic. You canceled them. You voted for those freaking wars. It's the exact same thing, the exact same way the freaking Republicans did. And right now, it's not Republicans who's sending money over to freaking Israel. It's you. It's Biden. It's Senior Biden. It is Joseph Robinette Biden. Dementia patient in chief. And also to Ukraine, yeah. Yeah. Sending all of our money across seas to all these other countries who, I'm not saying I don't care about their conflicts, I don't care about their problems, but my thing is when you got the freaking Supreme Court ruling in favor of Grants Pass, Oregon. I'm in Oregon currently. Supreme Court ruled in favor of freaking Grants Pass, whereas now you can criminalize the freaking homeless. We got problems like that in this country. People don't have any place to go, right? Any place to go. And now they're going to be penalized for that. But you're sending money, billions of dollars, over to Israel and also Ukraine. That's your administration. Granted, I'm pretty sure Republicans will do the exact same thing. But guess what? When Donald Trump was in office, do you think I didn't criticize him? I wish somebody would fix their mouth and say that I didn't. I criticize him too. I don't have respect for politicians. I just don't. Have you noticed that part? Have you noticed that pattern? I don't care what color you are. I don't care where you come from. You're all thieves to me. You're all war criminals. All of you. And the amazing part is that we've somehow reached a point in the history of this country. We've somehow reached a point in which advocating for us to stop sending money over the country, to stop bombing women and children, that makes you the bad guy. Somehow, advocating for us to be peaceful and to advocate peace and to actually regain the moral high ground, actually be respected around the world. Again, that makes you the bad guy. That makes you the bad guy.
Your tax dollars at work.
That is one big pile of shit.
Absolutely. One big pile of ish. Anyways, guys, it's going to be it for my show tonight. I love you all, man. Thank you all for joining me. Until next time, man. Horns up. Peace out. Good night. And good luck.